Hola, 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 ¿qué tal? Bienvenidos de vuelta. Ahora sí, vamos a darle este gameplay. Nos quedamos en esta parte, justo llegamos a la gasolinera y según yo, aquí es el final del capítulo uno, del episodio uno. Entonces, vamos a ver qué sigue en la historia. Algo que yo no chequé durante mi primer stream fueron los manuscritos. Entonces, aquí viene, por ejemplo, manuscrito del episodio uno. Y aquí vienen todos. Creo que los designo. Ok, vamos a ver. Estos son los que me hacen falta. Entonces, es el título.
The man turned to face me. His face was covered in shadows. It was hard to make him out in the darkness of the forest that surrounded us, but the axe he lifted was plain to see. It glistened with the blood of his victim. He grinned madly. The shadows were alive, distorting his features. It was a scene from a nightmare, but I was awake.
Ok, básicamente. Ay, básicamente está contando todo lo que
The taking stood before me,
hemos
facing me
estado
as if it fully saw it,
jugando.
as if it stood in a blind spot caused by a brain tumor and eye disease. It was bleeding shadows like ink underwater, like a cloud of blood from a shark bite. I was terrified. I squeezed the flashlight like my life depended on it, willing it to stop coming any closer. Suddenly something gave, and the light seemed to shine brighter.
Vaya, vaya. Ok, missing page. Por ahí debe de
I
estar.
heard them before I saw them, swooping down from the sky and screeching as they came. I spun around just as the cloud was upon me. For an instant, I stared into 100 dead eyes, black pearls glittering in the darkness. I raised the flashlight and the swarm exploded like fireworks. Feathers burned, turned into ash. I couldn't hear my scream above theirs. At first, I kept finding the pages as if by accident. The book I couldn't remember was either a terrible and true prophecy or an act of creation that had rewritten the world. I began to hunt the pages feverishly, for they held the answer to the mystery. With it, I could save myself. With it, I could save Alice.
Ok, eso, básicamente parece ser que todos estos manuscritos que hemos estado encontrando fueron escritos por el mismo Alan Wake, pero él no tiene
The cabin
recuerdos
on
de
Cauldron Lake?
esto.
She asked. The sheriff looked at me suspiciously. The early morning light flooded through the office windows. I would probably never have gotten out of the woods alive without her help, but I couldn't tell her the truth of what I'd faced the previous night. She'd think I was lying or crazy. She'd lock me up, and she wouldn't help me find Alice.
Ok.
Stucky spat on the garage floor and tried to shake the cobwebs from his head. Ever since the couple never showed to pick up the keys, things had been fuzzy. Something, a feeling caught his attention. Stucky looked up and stared as his brain tried in vain to process the horror before him. He stumbled back, knocking over a can of oil. A black pool spread across the floor while he struggled for a brief moment, then let go as the unrelenting darkness engulfed him. Rose knew she had been gushing, but right now she didn't care. As far as she was concerned, her brief meeting with Alan Wake was literally the high point of her life. She watched as he got in the car with his wife. She was pretty, confident, at ease with Wake. Not like Rose. They were perfect for each other. She'd have given anything to be called their friend.
Ok. Una disculpa por poner todo esto. Me encanta realmente. Ok, y aquí vienen estadísticas de lo que hemos encontrado. Lo que nos importa son los termos. Tenemos 11 de 100. Creo que es bueno. Y sigamos con este gameplay. Aquí hay otro manuscrito. Justo lo que necesitábamos. Creo. ¿Cuál es? Sepa la chingada. Ok.
The
No
garage was
recuerdo.
a mess. It looked like someone had trashed the place, or that there'd been some kind of fight.
Ok, pues todo es un desmadre. Todo está raro aquí.
All right. I'll keep writing. Outside, there's only darkness. Outside the cabin, outside the story, there's only darkness. I can feel a presence in the dark. Just now, I could smell her perfume in the room. I'll reach her. I'll fix it up. I'll bring her back. The story will come true. If I stop, she's lost. I don't believe this. It'd been me on the TV, talking crazy. Was I losing my mind?
Sí, está medio loco. Medio loquita la historia. Sé que hay como películas que hablan acerca de eso. De que tú estás, que el principal es el autor del libro y justamente está viviendo todo lo que escribió, como si el libro estuviera cobrando eh, vida. Pero aquí es que no se acuerda de que este güey escribió el libro. Vamos a usar el teléfono.
Bright Falls Sheriff Station.
Oh, thank God, Sheriff.
Sheriff Sarah Breaker, you are...
I'm Alan Wake, but listen. I was in a car crash. My wife, Alice, she's missing.
Calm down, Mr. Wake.
We were staying in a cabin on the island, on Cauldron Lake.
There's no island on Cauldron Lake, not since the big eruption in the 70s.
Please, I can take you there, okay?
You look like you've taken a pretty bad knock to the head. Are you okay?
Listen.
We'll figure this out. Please get in the car. We'll swing by the lake and then we'll go to the station, okay? Mr. Wake, have you seen Stucky, the guy who owns this place?
I realized I couldn't tell her what had happened in the forest. She wouldn't have believed me. And then she wouldn't have helped me with Alice.
Mamas. Te están tachando de loco, papi. Y sí, en efecto, no hay isla. Qué loco. Parecen como una historia de... Le temes a la oscuridad. Y bueno, realmente no sé si me vayan a tirar el video por música. Aquí voy a estar hablando para que no escuche la música. Pero recuerdo que es un gran juego. Entonces vamos a seguir dándole. Porque creo que el Alan Wake 2 que se viene es demasiado bueno. Vamos a ver qué prosigue en la historia. Se junta con el juego. Bueno, está Remedy creó un universo con Control. Entonces parece ser que es muy bueno. Ah, mira, aquí hay un resumen de todo.
I thought maybe you could write here.
I don't want to hear it. God damn it, Alice. Now, she's missing. Alice? Alice? I woke up behind the wheel of a crashed car. I'm missing a week. I was attacked by shadowy men straight from a nightmare. The sheriff took me to the lake Alice and I had stayed at. But the cabin had disappeared.
Take. Me gusta que pongan el resumen del primer capítulo como si fuera una serie. No me acordaba de eso. Puntos positivos.
Honey, I'm home.
Ok, vamos a ver. Vamos a ver qué hay.
Worst weather I've ever seen.
You should put some coffee on. It'll warm you up.
Que nos llegó una televisión. Vamos a ver si podemos salir de aquí. Nel. Ok, vamos. Switch on the coffee maker.
Coffee's on.
Great, thanks. I'll need it if I'm gonna finish this by tomorrow.
¿Qué estás haciendo, mi vida? ¿Qué estás haciendo? Ay, hay un...
Oh, hey, I just finished those cover mock-ups. They're on your desk. Tell me what you think.
No kidding. I didn't think you'd get them done this quickly.
On occasion, I can perform all sorts of miracles, my dear.
Oh, really?
Well, you seemed to think so last night.
Ese cuadro es muy famoso. Yo tenía ese cuadro. Bueno, mis papás tenían ese cuadro. Obviamente no sé si es el original, pero qué chistoso.
These look really good.
Oh, sure, until Barry gets his hands on them. Which, by the way, will happen over my dead body. The last time was the last time.
¿Qué?
Oh, speaking of Barry, he called.
Ching. La madre ya se fue. Lo que me acuerdo es que se puede escanear el
I'm right
co-
here. I'm on it, honey.
The dark place was an endless waking dream. I saw visions carried by the ebb and flow of different dream states. They seeped in from the reality beyond. Things I had a connection to, but also things I couldn't possibly know. I used them in my writing to make it real, so that the parts that weren't would become so. And there were visions that I knew were not real, ideas I had lost, often of Casey. I had written about him for years. I used them as well. The lies had to feel true for them to become true. Had I always written this way? Even before? Seen things without realizing I was seeing them? Thinking they were mine? Was this what inspiration was for me?
Me gusta esta interacción de romper la cuarta pared con códigos QR y ya ves un poquito más de la historia. Ahí a ver si les puse algo, a ver si se escucha. Sigamos. Vamos a ver por qué tiene miedo. Calma, aguada, aguada. Nada más vamos a ver dónde está el fuse box. Ta madre, obviamente. Ahí voy, hija. Tú no podrías vivir en Latinoamérica, ¿va?
I'm right
¿Por
here,
qué?
baby.
I'm fine. Just get the lights back on. Now, please.
Ahí voy. Nada más donde. Ah, ahí está. Ok, vamos.
Honey, it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Okay. Hi.
You okay?
I'm sorry. It just really spooked me.
Don't worry. We'll just break out the candles.
I know it's stupid, but it's just... Especially when I'm not prepared for it, you know? It gets to me.
I love you.
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay. I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid. The dark really spooked me, too. When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters away.
Oh, sure.
Here it is.
Alan.
Maybe it'll help you, too.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy. You made that up right now, didn't you?
No. Seriously.
I love you, even if you are a liar. Thanks for this.
Noche de pasión.
How do you feel, Mr. Wake? Any nausea, disorientation, anything like that? Mr. Wake, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. My head's fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
Very well. I don't think you have a concussion, but you've obviously been through quite a shock. You should take it easy for a couple of days.
Thanks.
Well then, Mr. Wake, we're done here. If the pain gets any worse or you experience any other symptoms, you should come see me. I'll let you get on with it then. Sarah, Sheriff Breaker, is waiting for you. She's very good at her job. I'm sure she can locate you.
Vamos
Doc Nelson was the image of a small-town doctor. Sheriff Breaker had called him to the station to take a look at the cut in my head.
Es que sí, te diste en la madre un putazote, hijo. A ver, ¿qué se puede examinar aquí?
I believe you'll find the sheriff in her office.
Sí, pero...
Just
okay.
go down the
I'm
corridor.
sorry you had to cut your morning fishing short for this, Doc.
Oh, she's a beauty, ain't she? Not the biggest I ever caught, if you can believe that coming from an old fisherman like me, but she's right up there. Now, she's a largemouth bass, which is what you're after if you prefer a lure. Now, if you want either trout or salmon, on the other hand, then it's fly fishing for you. You're good to go, Mr. Wake. Sarah's probably waiting for a chance to talk to you.
Vale, ya voy. ¿Otra vez esa mona? Esa salió al inicio del juego. Disappeared. Richard Bott, Bruce Dansky y Jacob Miller. Pues hay muchos desaparecidos. Y bueno, y un gatito. Mucho desaparecido aquí. Ahorita voy. Vamos a ver qué hay por aquí.
Mr. Wake, the sheriff is waiting for you in her office down the corridor.
Sí.
That was Cynthia Weaver. I guess you can call her the town eccentric. She used to be the editor of the local newspaper, but she's focused on, other things these days.
She'd fit right in where I come from.
As you can see, she's a little obsessed with maintaining the light bulbs of the whole town, refuses to step on shadows, things like that. Back in her day, she wrote about all sorts of weird things in the paper. Bright Falls has a colorful history. Of course, what small town hasn't?
Claro. Como cualquier... Perfecto. Lo que estábamos buscando.
Yeah, it's Mulligan here. I'm at Stucky's gas station with Thornton. There's no sign of him. Over.
Wait. Yeah, this is Thornton. Look, we've located the brake float. It's here. That's some good news, right? Stucky was supposed to be driving it at the rehearsals today. Over.
Oh, give me that. Mulligan here. Looks like someone really thrashed the garage. Over.
Okay, roger that, guys. Keep looking for Stucky. Jane's out.
Stucky. Una disculpa. Stucky es el güey que nos andaba buscando y tratando de matar. Se supone que al inicio del juego es el güey que nos tiene que dar las llaves de la cabaña de las que nos vamos a quedar. Pero pasamos a un restaurante y estaba esa monita que ahorita la vimos. Que cuando salí del meeting room me dice que no vaya en la oscuridad. Y fue justo cuando me sale una mona y me da unas llaves misteriosas de la cabaña en una isla. Donde la isla ya no está. Vamos a hablar contigo.
Have you started looking for my wife yet?
My men are already on it. Now, can you tell me what happened?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. We were arguing. I walked out of the cabin.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake?
How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't. She'd lock me up. Excuse me. I need to take this. Hello?
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
Who is this?
Go to the back lot. There's a hole in the fence on the left. Look inside the junker. I left a little something there to convince you we're all on the same page here. After you ditch the cops, you're gonna meet me in Elderwood National Park. There's a spot called Lover's Peak. Midnight. Don't do nothing stupid, pal. We're watching you.
Que esto ya no es como una historia de terror, sí, pero ya hay más monos involucrados.
Mr. Wake, can I help you with anything?
I need to get some air. The sheriff said I could go out back. I couldn't go anywhere yet. I had to play along with the caller. Alice's life was at stake.
Walter in there. He's one of our regulars.
I thought he quit.
No me puedo ir aquí.
Hey, mister! Hey, can you turn the light? The light's on! The deputies, they don't understand. They won't listen to me. I need it to be bright in here.
Lo que no me gusta son como los boxitos que tiene este.
Hey, you! Can you help me? Can you turn
Vamos a
the lights
ver.
on?
The early morning light hurt my eyes and made my head ache. The man on the phone had said, go through the fence on the left.
Ok. Pero antes vamos por agarrar este. Coffee thermo. Ok, vamos a ver esto.
Well, folks, it's been another long night, and it's about time for me to sign off for a while. God knows I need my beauty sleep. Just one more item before I go. It's been a busy night for the sheriff's department. We've had a few broken windows, even a report of shots fired on Main Street. Deputies Mulligan and Thornton had to deal with two intoxicated young men who were celebrating the completion of their Deer Fest float. Now, folks, we get this every year. I know it's exciting.
Tengo que ir para allá.
Let's save it for the party.
Mira, está mamadísimo este cabrón. Agarramos un manuscrito.
The caller had told me to find a hole in the fence behind the police station. There was something for me in an abandoned car. Alice's driver's license had been placed on the front seat. The caller meant business.
Ok. Pues está secuestrada, pero qué pedo.
Barry?
Ow! Doc, where the hell have you been? I've been trying to reach you for a week, you and Alice. I've been worried sick. I flew out yesterday. I'm here in Bright Falls.
Barry, listen to me. I'm at the sheriff's station. Come and get me. I can't talk now.
Ow! What the hell is going on?
I had to get the sheriff to let me go. I needed to get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers.
Me gusta que ponen musiquita. Pero vámonos otra vez aquí con los presos. No, con el único preso. Ah, ya se durmió. Verga, qué pedo.
There is a light that reveals the world of his story from darkness, shapes it from nothingness. The way a sculptor carves a statue from granite. If I stop, the world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it. It's a long, hard journey into the dark. Alice's life is at stake, but I can't think about that, or I'll lose it. The dread lingers at the edge of perception. I'll push on. Anything is possible here. I'll write the story. I'll save her.
Ok.
Marvelous, Sarah. I just wanted to settle all the damage the Anderson brothers might have inadvertently caused on their recent and regrettable little outing. They are not accountable for their actions, of course. I can assure you that my staff has been reprimanded.
Tor and Odin never caused any trouble to anyone when they were still living at their farm.
Indeed. All we can do is to slow down the progress of their dementia.
Are you feeling any better, Mr. Wake?
I'd like to leave. Am I free to go?
Well, we still need to talk about...
Am I under arrest?
No, of course not. But I need to know where you'll be staying so I can get in touch with you.
I'd avoid the motel. The Majestic is known for its roaches. The cabins at Elderwood are pretty nice, though.
That sounds perfect.
I'm Dr. Emil Hartman. I'd like to invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Es el doctorcito
I invited her here.
que empezó el desmadre.
Take it easy.
Hey, nobody move. Get your hands off of my client.
Who are you?
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me. You yokels won't know what hit you once I sick my lawyers on your asses.
No harm done, Sarah. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Get me out of here.
Puro viejito decrépito y un gordito ahí todo,
What was that about, Al?
todo loco.
We don't need a replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
I had to talk to someone. I told Barry everything. He thought I was certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was enough for him. He smelled money. And he believed that Alice had been kidnapped. Anything beyond that was another story. I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood National Park. The plan was to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it. It's not good. In fact, it's the absolute opposite of good.
Mr. Wake! Barry, you found him!
Hi, Rose.
Oh, wow, I was just thinking about you, too.
Great.
I was just bringing Rusty some coffee. He's on the balcony, looking after Max. Poor thing. I really need to go. Great to see you again, Mr. Wake. Later!
Who's Max?
What an airhead.
Ok, mientras podemos parar aquí. Realmente fue una sesión corta, pero sigamos con el juego. En el siguiente capítulo voy a tratar de hacer videos cortos para que no sea tan pesado para todos. ¿Ok? Gracias, nos vemos en el siguiente capítulo.